Welcome back to Celebrity Radio. It's nice to talk to an old friend. Peter Andre, how are you?
I am very well, sir, and you?
Well, I'd say delicious. There I was flicking through my magazines this morning and your house came up in foreign parts. God, it must be great to be you.
Do you know what? It was weird because when I put that post up, I said to Emily, I don't want this to look, the wrong way. I just want to say that I'm so appreciative because in life sometimes things go past and sometimes you achieve things, sometimes you don't. Things that haven't worked in business, things that have, and you just reflect sometimes. And I just felt, I was having a moment.
You should be very proud. I mean, to achieve greatness and keep it is a huge skill, and not many achieve that, do they? Getting it's one thing, but sustaining a career is quite another.
Yeah, I'm very lucky. I've had the same manager for 25 years, and I spoke with her about a year ago, and I said, look, how do you feel about me adding another manager to it? That, someone in America that can focus on America, South America, Canada. And she said, yeah, and so I've just signed with John Ferreter, who manages Piers Morgan worldwide and quite a few big TV guys in America. And I thought, well, this is great because with all that's been achieved, you can't just sit on your laurels. You can't just go, oh, well, I've done everything I wanted to do. You've got to keep moving. And so now I've signed with him, I think, as well as keeping Claire. I think, we've got a great couple of years ahead, and because you do it for your family as you get older. I think when you first start, you do it for yourself and you're just thinking, oh, yeah, I want to do this and I want to travel. And then eventually you think, yeah, but, and it's a sad thing to say, but it's true. It's like, well, I want to leave something for these kids,
I'm also interested in the pressure. I just got back from 5 weeks in Vegas and I spent the last day with Chris Angel, who's the biggest magician in the world right now. And he has a staff of 86 people, 2 chefs, 3 security, a driver. There's a point where it becomes overwhelming. How do you keep that intact? Because you've got to have people to keep you on the road, haven't you?
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't have a chef to start with. I don't have an entourage like that. So I've got my road manager, Carl, who's been with me for 8 years, and Claire, my manager, who's been with me for 25 years. And the most important people, of course, are my brothers and my sister and my mum and dad. And we, I don't really have people on the road. Like, Carl will drop me off and then I'll be here and I'll be talking to you guys all day. And I think you can live that life if you want to, but you become a little bit detached. So when I go home, it's very often me and Ems are like, right, let's teamwork. I'll do the kitchen. She does the living room. As in, we clean it up.
So do you still have a squirt and a wipe in the bathroom?
Oh, hell yeah. Don't know which order.
I know which order I do it in. Hey, listen, we must talk about Bulmers before we go any further.
There is only one order that can be in, isn't there? Really thinking about it. That was odd.
Do you know, for 20 years I wiped first. It was a terrible disaster.
Yes, it's a terrible mistake.
We're going to talk about your teen angel in a moment, but first of all, let's talk about what we're here to talk about, which is a curious thing. The Orchard Project charity are doing this remarkable thing, and it fits perfectly with you because you've been making over things for years in houses. And of course, the one thing that we mustn't destroy is our habitats and our surroundings and all of that stuff, and that's what Bulmers have put this campaign together for.
You have said it spot on. It's a really tough thing to try and convince people, not necessarily the older generation, but the younger generation, how important it is for us to be outdoors and to enjoy that. We need oxygen. We're stuck indoors. A lot of people, when they're at work, they're stuck in offices a lot of the times. When kids are at home on holidays from school, or even when they come home from school. My son's going to be 14 next week, junior, and he wants to be on his PlayStation, and then he wants to be on his phone, and it's a tough one. So we got to try and convince them that actually you need it, whether you want it or not. You actually need to go outside and breathe in some fresh air. And then getting people involved in a project like this is a really good thing, because it's not like saying, hey, I'll tell you what, we'll go and restore all these orchards and then you guys can go and enjoy them. Because what you'll find is the people that would appreciate that, ones that would go out anyway, the ones that kind of wouldn't appreciate it are the ones that can't be bothered going outside. But if you get them to go out there and actually do the project themselves and get them to restore it themselves, as a community, you'll find that things change very rapidly. When we restored that one in Manchester, I mean, people from the community are like, I can't even believe I didn't know this existed, and it's within walking distance of my house. Some did, and some are like, thank God we're getting to restore this. But giving them the responsibility, them to be volunteers to help restore it, means that they're going to want to go to it all the time, and they build their community again. So it's actually a really good thing, I think. And
it's beautiful bringing people together. If people want to find out more, is there a website or a place they can find out more?
Yeah, there is. It's theorchardproject.org.uk or Bulmer's Cider Facebook page. And actually, I think it's good because when Bulmer's were first doing this, it was part of their thing was they were on their way to being 100% British. Now they are 100% British, which is fantastic, but they're still really heavy on the campaign. So now it's gone beyond that, and this is a really, really good campaign.
Before we go, let's talk about your big thing that's happening this year, which is Greece. You're going to be playing Teen Angel, which we get to see with the big wings and the camp number. Are you looking forward to it? I guess you're already in rehearsals because it starts next week, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's actually great. Now, do you know many versions of this song have been done, right? So we think of Frankie Avalon and we think of the version in the movie, but if you see some of the American ones, there's been so many interpretations of this song. And funny enough, when I used to watch the movie Grease, that was the one bit of the film I used to skip over.
Wow.
I never used to watch that song because I thought, I'm all depressed now. So I always found it as not the best part of the film. But actually seeing it in a musical form, it's a great number. I mean, when they told me about it at first, I was like, no, I should go and audition for Danny Zuko and I should do all that. And actually, when they were talking about Teen Angel and showed me the Boys to Men version, for example, right? I mean, I didn't know Boys to Men had done that song. They did it in America, and it just gave a whole new side to the song. It can be sung in a more soulful way. It can be sung, but the bottom line is, I am wearing wings. So no matter what I think, I am going to look cheesy, but I'm going to make the most of it. I'm going to own that cheesiness for that song.
We can't wait to see you. You start in just over a week's time and you're doing the first 10 days. Just so people are aware the rest of the tour, will you be doing most shows or how's that working?
Well, the reason when we were offered the part, the reason it works for me is because I can't commit to the whole show. So it was great because this part means that I can do certain weeks and not other weeks. And the guy that's actually doing it when I'm not there is Ore, that was on Strictly, who won Strictly. And he's a lovely, lovely guy. So he'll be doing a lot of the dates as well. But, mate, this is going to be so fun. I've already had my kids sending me pictures of people in wings. They're not letting me live this down. I mean, this is it. I mean, I'm the wingman.
There you go.
I'm the wingman.
I'll see you next week in Leeds, and I look forward to talking to you again. Peter Andre, always a pleasure.
Me too.
Cheers, big man.
Thank you, buddy.